guys, Mike, your host of Craft Beer Storm. It's Monday, and we are continuing our journey at the Great American Beer Festival. A lot of sound bites I got, a lot of interviews, splicing them together, getting them to you. Very interesting. And the theme of this week's episode, it's breweries with kind of a south of the border, right? We have two breweries with a Mexican kind of theme. One brewery actually from Mexico, and another one from like a South American kind of theme. But very interesting. They use a lot of ingredients from those areas, a lot of different styles that are popular in those areas. So it was really cool, really great people. So why don't we take a listen? Here we go. Hey, we're here at, you got to pronounce the name of the brewery.
Ceveceria, Colorado.
I couldn't pronounce it, but we're here with Jason. He's the brewer here at the brewery. How you doing, Jason?
Fantastic. It's a fun week here at GABF.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. I love it. It's beautiful weather, too. It's fantastic. The beers I've had so far are awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
And you guys have put passion into your beer. Tell me a little bit about the story about your brewery and how it originated in Lafayette.
Yeah, sure. We started Ceveceria, Colorado about 2 years ago. And I was originally, I'm also the head brewer of Denver Beer Company.
Oh, really? Okay. We're right next door.
We're right next door,
so Okay.
So we started Ceveceria, Colorado. I was invited to judge a beer competition that was put on by Slow Food Mexico. So it was a slow beer competition in Puebla, Mexico. And I met some amazing brewers down there and was really blown away by not only the brewers that were there, but the ingredients that they had and some of the special, unique ingredients that the culture and cuisine of Mexico have to offer. And so, I came back with this new passion for lots of Mexican ingredients and started at Denver Beer Company, started making some really interesting beers with different Mexican ingredients. And we were so inspired that we decided to start like our sister brewery, which we call Ceveceria, Colorado. And so, like I said, we opened 2 years ago, and we make beers that are inspired by the culture and cuisine of Mexico and really fun, unique beers. And we've done lots of collaborations with Mexican craft brewers. And we really are trying to build bridges instead of walls in the communities that we live in. And it's been amazing to have a lot of the local Denver Latino community, embrace us and come and visit our space. And it's a really warm and welcoming environment. And it's been really fun to be a part of.
That's excellent. Now, you mentioned Slow Beer. Can you explain that? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. So Slow Food is actually a fairly large organization. I think they've been around for like 20 or 25 years, maybe even longer than that. They started in Italy, and the main goal of Slow Food was to protect some of the kind of dying cultural ingredients and cultural food producers around the world. And it was a little bit of a rally against fast food, which is where Slow Food came from. So there were some McDonald's that were being built in Italy, and there's some people that didn't want them there. They wanted to eat food that's good for you and food that that really is celebratory. And there are some cultures around the world and some types of food that are going away for one reason or another, for economic reasons or the reasons of fast food taking over and things like that. And so that's where, as far as my understanding, which is not deep with Slow Food, but that's my understanding about how Slow Food was started. But Slow Food Mexico is an organization that protects some local foods in Mexico, and they put on a beer competition that featured some of the what they call the Arc of Taste, which is the list of protected ingredients that they are trying to preserve. And so they put on a beer competition with Mexican craft brewers that featured in each beer one ingredient in the Arc of Taste of Mexico, and it was mind-blowing for me. It was absolutely amazing to me to be able to experience that and taste those beers.
Oh, and then you were in the culture there, and because I'm Italian, like my parents are Italian, so I understand about the slow food. I get it now. Fast food is horrible.
Yeah.
It's hard. What you put into your body. I mean, you're putting this stuff into your body. There was a film. I don't know if you. I don't want to point. I better stop. There was a film made about a fast food restaurant.
I know what you're talking about. It's important.
The doctor said, "Look, dude, you got to stop eating that stuff because your organs are shutting down."
Yeah. I mean, I have 3 young kids, and I'm worried about the future of their food, and I want them to eat healthy and to eat good things. And so, that's part of the reason that I support Slow Food. It's an incredible organization.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. That's great. So, but you have Mexicans working here. I guess they're from the local. Or did you bring them up? Or?
We don't discriminate. So we're a very inclusive organization, but there are a lot of Latinos living in the Denver area that maybe are first or second generation Americans that from Mexico that that really love Ceveceria Colorado, and they want to be a part of it. And we do a lot of fun events here too. We do a loteria night where we do like the Mexican bingo, right? So that's really fun. We work with a lot of Latino charities in the Denver area to help raise money for them. So we do cervezas for causes to raise money for them. And, we've done salsa lessons and we've done guacamole and taco pairings and things like that in the cerveceria. So it's a really fun environment.
That's awesome. Now, your history, where did you come from? Did you live in Colorado, or you came here, or how did that work?
Yeah, I originally grew up in Ohio, and my father was and still is a home brewer there. Eventually I found craft beer and decided that, I wanted to be a brewer, and I went to school at the Siebel Institute, and shortly thereafter started working at a couple of brew pubs in Colorado. Eventually, after a few years, landed a job at Oscar Blues running their R&D.
That's awesome.
Program. So I did that for a few years, and then my good friend Charlie, who was one of the original co-founders of Denver Brewery Company, said, "Hey, we need some help. We're growing. We need somebody to lead our brewing team and create some fun, innovative beers." And it was a great opportunity for me. So I joined the team several years ago, and it's been a wild, fun ride.
That's cool. I love it. I love the beer. Can you explain the beers that I just tasted? There were 4 of them,
Sure.
But they were all unique, and they had so much flavor. And you gave me that jar of it was from the cacao plant, I guess, and it was the buds. It was awesome.
Right. Yeah, so the first beer we tasted was Venga. So that's our very traditional Mexican lager, very clean, easy drinking beer. The second beer we had was Señor Piña, and that's a pineapple blonde. It's a nice, easy drinking blonde ale, fermented with pineapples and dry hopped with a little mosaic to add a little more tropical to it. So that's a nice, fun beer as well. That third beer we had was a Schwartz beer. It's one of our collaborations with Ceveceria Itanyene from Mexico City. And that's made with Flor de Rosita de Cacao. So that's actually the flower of the cacao plant. Has this amazing vanilla, mushroom, earthy kind of floral flavor.
There's all kinds of stuff going on there. It reminded me like of an imperial stout. I don't know.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, it's a really fun, very exotic ingredient. Very hard to find. We literally had to bring it across the border from Chihuahua, but we made it work, right?
That's cool.
And then the last beer was Ai Wei, and that's an imperial pilsner fermented with mangoes and limes, with guajillo peppers and a little bit of jalapeno.
So they have some. So it has a bite to it. Oh, yeah. That's what I was tasting because I have one. I have one now. You're like, I need to get you a beer, and this is it. And it's. You can. It's a little spicy.
Yeah, you get a little heat on the back end.
We do. We make beers too. We infuse ghost pepper sauce and bacon chipotle barbecue sauce. People love that stuff. Yeah. And the back end. Really
yeah.
All right, so this is awesome, man. This is beautiful. What size is your system? I see all these fermenters here.
Well, we actually have 3 brewing locations. So the one we're in right now, we have a 7-barrel system. And that services Denver Beer Company as well as Ceveceria, Colorado. We also have a 7-barrel taproom brewery in Arvada, Colorado, in Old Town Arvada. And then we have a 30-barrel production brewery about 1.5 miles north of here in a neighborhood called Sunnyside.
So you guys are distributing too, I heard, right?
We do. We do distribute throughout the state of Colorado with Breakthrough Beverage. They're an amazing distributor. They're a great partner with us.
Working with distributors, so can you self-distribute in Colorado? I don't know.
You can. We did when we were small, but it got to be too much. And, once we eclipsed 3,000 or 4,000 barrels, it was time to,
That's a lot of beer.
Yeah, so we're doing pretty well these days. We had a great year last year. We went a little over 16,000 barrels, and we've already eclipsed that this year, so plenty of time to go.
Wow.
We've grown pretty well this year, so we're looking at around 20,000 barrels this year, so it's a fun time to be in craft beer for sure.
That is excellent. And on the bus over, they were saying that there's 70 breweries in Denver?
There's a lot of breweries in Denver. It's almost hard to keep count, to be honest with you, because there's more and more popping up every day. But it's a great craft beer community to be a part of, and it's a lot of fun.
You guys do very well in the GABF. It's always you got Colorado or California.
Right.
Like, here we go again. It's Colorado, California. But really delicious beers. I appreciate, the beers, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to try your beers. I appreciate what you're doing, and you're promoting, Mexico and the delicious flavors that are coming out of Mexico, and it's just a great thing. So I appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me. It's great to meet you.
And thank you.
All right, cheers.
And I just went next door. They're doing a collaboration with a Mexican brewery from Mexico City, and I met the brewer and Lucia, and she is. You got to tell me your name of your brewery. I can't pronounce it.
It's Itanyene.
Now, what does that mean?
Itanyene is a word that means the flower of blood. It's a pre-Hispanic language, kind of. It's from Oaxaca.
Right. Awesome. So now you're up. You live in Mexico City.
Yes, I live in Mexico City.
And you came up here just to do the collaboration with them.
Yeah. We come from Mexico City to make the collaboration and be in the Great Mexican Beer Fiesta.
That's awesome. A lot of good flavors. I love the beers here. A lot of good flavor.
Yeah.
Now your brewery, what do you do there? Like what kind of beers you make, or what's the kind of whole crux of your brewery?
Actually, for the collaboration, we make the Schwarz beer with Rosita de Cacao. Rosita de Cacao is an ingredient that is inside of a beverage in Mexico, also from Oaxaca, that is called tejate. They have corn, cacao, Rosita de Cacao, and the seed of the mamey. And the brewery that want to make is add some different ingredients from Mexico and add in the beer. But I really want to make the beers with specific ingredients that are not so common also in Mexico.
Wow. No, I've tasted the beer here, which is made with, and he gave me a jar full of the flour.
Yeah, Rosita de Cacao is a flour. There is a confuse because some people think that is the flour of the cacao, but it's not. It's the flour of a different species. That's why they call Rosita de Cacao, is because they have the smell of cacao, chocolate.
It does. The beer, it's chocolate.
Yeah.
It reminds me kind of an imperial stout. It's kind of like that kind of...
Yeah, but it's only the flour. Yeah.
No,
actually, we toasted a little bit the flour to increase the flavors.
Wow. Very nice. And what other kind of beers do you make? Do you make IPAs too? And
yes, we make IPAs.
Are IPAs in Mexico, are they popular? Or?
Yeah, are so popular.
They're crazy. They're all over the place.
Yes, in all the world are crazy.
The world IPAs. But although darker beers, I came here for the Craft Brewers Conference, and he was talking about what's more popular now. Lagers and Pilsners are becoming more popular, and darker beers are becoming more popular. So I'm like, hey, it's great, because I have a brewery back in New Hampshire, and I make a lot of stouts. I make like darker. I make an Oreo infused porter with coffee, and people try it and they love it. But if they see dark, like they go, oh no, it's dark. They get crazy.
Actually, we have a dark black IPA, and I really like dark beers. Some people think that because they are black are more high in alcohol and flavor, but that's why I really like Schwarz beer, because I know that it's dark, but it's very drinkable.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm glad I bumped into you, and the beer here is delicious, and I think I wish I could stay for the collaboration. I'm not going to make it. I got to go back Sunday, but I think what you're doing here is great, and it's good to collaborate and promote Mexico, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, we're here with Judd at Dos Luchas Brewery, one of the stops of the Denver tour. How you doing, Judd?
Just fine.
How's your is your brewery beautiful? I love the setup here. It's awesome. It's just long, goes in the back, and you have all the tanks fermentation, and you have the brew system. It's all open. It's really nice. How'd you get this started?
The history on these beers goes back 3,000 plus years. So that's kind of the original germination of the idea. But specifically, my dad lived in Peru in the late 60s, and he drank a lot of chicha while he was over there, and originally got me into the idea of chicha. Then I met my co-founder about 15 years ago, and his parents are Salvadorian and Cuban, and we got to talking about chicha, pulque, and kind of germinating on this idea of what is American beer really, because when you see most American craft beer, it's an American version of a Western European beer style. So we kind of, when we started our own brewery, we said, well, let's make truly American beers, and that starts with corn.
Right. It's interesting, but I'm disappointed that you didn't chew the chicha before you spit it.
We're always happy to spit in the chicha if that's what you
Somebody
want.
said, look, you can give him your beer, you can swish it around in his mouth and spit it in your cup, and then you'll be all set. Right? But that's very interesting, very flavorful. So you have you infuse some jalapeno sauce in it as well, and coffee. It's very nice.
Yeah, we at the moment we have a coffee chocolate pulque, which is a coffee sour. I think it's wonderful. It's just got so many different flavors going on. We have a grapefruit jalapeno tepache, which is both smooth and easy drinking, and just has that little touch of jalapeno.
It's awesome, yeah. Now, how many beers do you have on tap at any one time?
We have 10 beers on tap at the moment. One of them is a collaboration beer, and that's pretty typical. We do a lot of collaborations. And then we'll have one non-alcoholic beer, a chicha morada, and then everything else is going to be alcoholic chichas and pulques.
That's awesome, yeah. How long have you been open here?
Just over a year now. We opened in late July of 2018.
There's just crazy amount of breweries in Denver, man. She was saying it's 70 breweries just in greater Denver.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Man. It's 100 in New Hampshire, the state. When I started, there was 20, and now it's blown up to 100. That's 5 years later, so it's 20 a year. But this in Denver area.
Yeah, it's really blown up, especially the last 6 or 7 years. Felt like at one point when we opened, I think there was a brewery opening every week.
Man, did you enter any of your beers into the Great American Beer Festival?
Sure did, yep. Entered a couple of them as gluten-free beers, one of them as a mixed culture Brett, one as wood-aged strong beer, and then our pumpkin spice chicha in the pumpkin spice category.
Awesome. That's awesome, yeah. I didn't enter any beers this year, but I'm here and as media, as a podcaster, and but it's a fantastic town. But you guys kill it usually at the Great American Beer Festival. It's either Colorado or California that wins these medals. And I'm like, damn, they won again.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like last year we underachieved, but hopefully this is the year for Colorado.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, thank you for having me in your brewery and giving me your beer. It's very good.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, good stuff. All good stuff. Really good beer. I enjoyed the beer there, and we heard from Jason Bueller of Ceveceria, Colorado. I hope I said that right, Jason. And Itanyene, that's a brewery from Mexico, and that we talked to Lucia. And they did a collaboration, actually, with the Denver Beer Company, too. The Denver Beer Company's right next door. Which is pretty cool. And then we went over to Dos Luces, and we talked to Judd Bellstock. And he's making good stuff, too. Very interesting brewery. So a lot of good stuff going on in Denver, man. They have 70 breweries in the, greater Denver area. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I think there's 100 in the state of New Hampshire. But Denver and California, California has 1,000 breweries. It's ridiculous. But they're making awesome beer. Well, the two states are doing very good. Good beer, good breweries, good stuff. Yeah, that's your episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go on iTunes, give us a rating, give us a review. It takes 2 minutes, 2 seconds actually. Click those 5 stars, you'll be all set. That's the only way we get up in the rankings, guys. We need your help. Ratings, reviews. If you got any ideas, send me an email, michael@craftbeerstorm.com. If you know any brewers, anybody in the industry, we're 360 in craft beer. I'll talk to anybody. We'll get them on. And we have a lot of ideas, a lot of hotels that I'm dealing with. We're putting these craft beer weekends together and craft beer events, which is cool. We're talking to towns now, towns in the area, and events there. They're very interested because it's great. Just the community. You showcase the restaurants there. You showcase the breweries in their area. And everybody has a great time. You know, you make people aware. Even the hotels love it too. They're like, people come here and they stay and, you know, they just go out to eat. But we have a great restaurant here. I'm like, well, why don't we do a food and beer pairing? And we can showcase your food. And the chefs love it. They love it. And the people in the hotel love it too, because they have vacant rooms. They have rooms they can't sell. Say it's a weekend, excess rooms, and they fill them up with people. So it's a good thing. If you have a hotel, contact me. Michael at craftbeerstorm.com. If your last name is Hilton, I want to talk to you. Paris Hilton, I don't know what happened to you. Paris, if you're listening, give me a call. Shoot me an email. Okay, that's what I have for today. And I wish you a great rest of the day. And we'll talk to you on Wednesday with Beer Styles. Take care.